remember my New Year's resolution for 2023, I showed you the thumbnail of one of my planned videos of doing a top Beach City episodes where I include one character as part of the thumbnail. Well, apparently this episode would have been number one or one of the highest episodes on my list, because to tell you the truth, this episode sums up a lot that Paul is just fitting in on the environment of Beach City, mainly of what Steven and Amethyst do, and to tell you the truth, considering that she is learning experiences when it comes to being her own character rather than being the character that she was way earlier in the series. This episode is a prime example of increasing Paul's character. Trust me when I say this. This is similar to the Empire City episode. Well, she's just trying to fit in. And in this case, when it comes to fitting in, she found someone that she grew an attachment to. And it's the mystery girl with the pink hair that is similar to Rose. Trust me when I say this, whenever I see a few people criticizing the fact that Paul is into people with pink hair that reminisces her time with Rose because she has pink hair and she has a huge affection towards. Apparently, this episode's way of love at first sight or huge curiosity or interest for a character to be a friend towards that character when it comes to similar body features, mainly the hair. I gotta be real with you, it's difficult to blame Paul in this scenario when she's experiencing this stuff way newer in comparison to the experiences that she went through in the past. Mainly going to dinner with Steven and Connie, mainly when it comes to Connie's family, among with other things that happen when it comes to her encounters with the Beach City citizens. And since that this mystery girl isn't around in Beach City, mainly living at Beach City, I think it kind of shows that this thing that Paul has when it comes to handling what it's like on being a citizen rather than being a gem, it really shows that they actually know how to write Paul in this scenario. Believe me, I actually enjoyed this episode a lot more, to the point that despite canceling my top 25 Beach City episodes list, I would probably say for a fact that this episode really gave me more appreciation for what it's trying to do with Paul's character and her goal. Besides, it was mainly Greg who is the reason that Paul is willing to go, considering that he is playing cards with Barb, who is Sadie's mother. And as far as I'm concerned, if we actually had an episode centering around Greg and the mystery girl, it would probably be a lot more awkward, considering that Greg is in his 40s and the mystery girl is in her 20s. Even though that Paul is 1,000 years older than everyone else aside from the gems. To tell you the truth, with Paul having countless of girls coming her way with new people along the way, especially it means of Steven going away, it's gonna be difficult for her to have a never-ending life of multiple girls, considering that a lot can change and the environment around her will probably be in the same result that she's in from the earlier seasons of Steven Universe. Granted, I'm overthinking it, considering that Paul would still have knowledge of Beach City and humans, but then again, this isn't Astro Boy from 2003 when it comes to relationships of humans and robots. When Paul was trying to get away from the police after running through a red light, it leads to so much possibilities of seeing Paul in this type of environment and seeing how her character has changed. And even though that she is keeping a secret from Steven and the others about Rose all along, to tell you the truth, if you actually think that this episode would have been better off after the whole Rose situation and it happened in future, then I don't think that this episode wouldn't even work, considering that the knowledge that Paul has towards Rose It really feels like that even though that her relationship towards her is toxic, at the very least, she still missed the good in Rose, even though that she couldn't be able to do anything in order to protect herself and others. Granted, I'll admit that she wasn't into the whole style that she was growing accustomed to, especially after almost getting arrested from the police, but since that they managed to get to the concert in time, it will probably be a different sort of ending if they didn't get close to the concert. And since that they did, Pearl manages to get the phone number of the mystery girl, and even though that we only heard Steven and Amethyst talking while Pearl is talking to the mystery girl, it kind of shows that having an interaction on screen centering around the mystery girl probably makes her a lot more mystery than we gave her credit for, or this episode in general. As a matter of fact, this episode deserves a lot more credit to at least give Pearl some sort of purpose than revealing the truth to Steven in Season 5. Believe me, every time I think about these episodes and how differently structured they are, there's always nuance whenever you see these episodes again, and for me personally, there was more of a reason onto why I ranked this episode higher in my scrapped plan of top Beach City episodes list. I'm giving this episode an 8.25 out of 10.